Hello beautiful people, it's your boy Richest, and if you are here on my channel for the first time, please feel free to subscribe, ring that bell notification down below so that every time I post a video, you will be alerted first. And please don't forget to like and comment on my video. Chenko subscribe twingreko 100k subscribers. It's your boy Richest.
Well, I know I'm late, and I keep telling you guys, this is Simoson building. We know what's happening, but we have no idea what's going on. Guys, jump on here real quick and tell me, I'm using my lavalier mic, my lapel mic, this one here. Not too long ago, I was using it and I thought it was on. Apparently it wasn't on. The most annoying thing is thinking your mic is working when in fact not. If technology, sometimes feel very frustrating. So what I need to do right now, in order for me to test my mic, I have to listen to this on my monitor on my phone. Okay, so just give me a moment to do this. Well, I know I'm late. Okay. And I keep telling you guys. Yeah, we're good. The mic is on. Ray, PNG, loud and clear. I'm very glad. Although I must tell you, my framing is not on point. I feel the frame is a bit off kilter. Are you seeing that or no? Because I'm sort of seeing that. I'm looking at my screen and it's not perfectly aligned. That bothers me, okay? I don't have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. It's just the way that it is. Guys, do me a favor. If you could get on here and then share this live with people that you think would be interested in this conversation. And as I always share with you, this is a conversation that everybody needs to have because it talks about, it really borders on your freedom to walk around. I mean, one moment you can wake up in the morning, walk over to your refrigerator, grab a drink and call a Yango and drive downtown and buy a few items. And the very next moment, you're in custody. You know, and then you have to ask permission just to pee. You see the variation. You see the difference between freedom and incarceration. There is a very thin line between those two. You must understand that. And you must also understand that every single one of us, every single solitary person is susceptible to incarceration. Every one of us are an act away from being sent to jail. So when I come to you today, I don't come to you from a point of gloating. Huh? Do you know that word, gloating? Tell me in the comments if you know what it means to gloat. Kuponta. I'm not gloating. I'm simply bringing to you the facts as they are. Let's recap and let's begin. As many of you know, several months ago, a social media personality, a nuisance in every sense of the word, that calls himself John Wick. Well, there's nothing John Wick about what happened today, and I'll get to that. Just give me a moment. So this young man by the name of Elias Musani, a few months ago, he posted on his page that he was going to break into Kiddist's house. Now, for those of you that do not know who Kiddist is married to Yomaps. Kiddist is a social media personality that is married to one of the very biggest music stars in this country, probably the biggest that's ever lived. And they have a family. Together they have a child. And Musyani, this social media nuisance and personality, took it upon himself to one day post that he was going to break into Kiddist's home. He was going to ravage her. He was going to rape her. And he was going to kidnap her child. Well, when Kiddist and her husband heard this, they became very concerned naturally, and they hired extra security. They sort of pulled their child out of school because they were concerned, as any parent would be, you and I would be. So when that happened, Yomaps and Kiddist informed Elias Musani that they would take legal action for the threats that he was making. And in fine Musyani style, he dismissed those plans by Kiddist and Yomaps. He said that it didn't matter. He said that they could do whatever the hell they wanted. In fact, in the process of responding to this information, Musyani began to heap insults on Kiddist and her husband. And Elias foolishly ignored the fact that we are living in the age of accountability. I keep telling you this, and this is a phrase that I think every one of us should incorporate within our way of thinking. Whatever you say, whatever you do, things have changed, things have evolved, and my brothers and sisters, we must evolve with them. We are living in the age of accountability, which means everything you say and do through this medium called the internet, once challenged, you will be compelled to answer for what you say and do on social media. It's no longer the way it used to be in the old days where you could just wake up and make any flimsy accusation, say anything you want, and there was no legal framework that would protect you from that type of internet abuse. And guys, you must also understand that these laws, these cybercrime laws that have recently been enacted, they are designed to protect you and I. They're not designed to protect politicians. They're not designed to protect the elite. They're not designed to protect your neighbor whom you don't get along with. No, they're designed to protect the Zambian public. That's what they're designed for. So the only people that have difficulties, the only people that disdain, the only people that reject this cyber law are people that want to break the law in the social media internet space. Those are the only ones. But if you stay within the circumference of the law, and this applies to every one of us, nobody's exempt. Bane. As they say in Zambia, as we say in Zambia, there are no sacred cows. Nikau fela. Once you understand that, once you wrap your brain around that, you're in a better place. So here it is. Musyani did what he did. Kiddist and her husband took him to court. It was a long, drawn-out court case. In the process of them going to court, there was this social media personality named Chilufya Tayali, who many of you know. Chilufya Tayali is a sexual deviant. He supported Musyani, and the only reason Tayali supported Musyani is because Tayali and Musyani they're cut from the same cloth. They think alike. You know, it's that old saying, birds of a feather flock together. Musyani's characteristical traits, Musyani's makeup in terms of his character, mirror Tayali's. Many of you know that one of the reasons that Tayali's first marriage disintegrated was, according to the court documents and according to Chilufya Tayali's first wife's divorce petition, was that Tayali's first wife didn't like the fact that Tayali was having sexual carnal knowledge of his niece. You know, according to her testimony in court documents, his first wife would say that she would come home and she would find Tayali in bed with his niece. So when you hear Tayali supporting people like Musyani, the only reason that character of Tayali supports the character of Musyani is because they're bedfellows. They think alike. They have the same outlook. They've got the same character. So it's not surprising, it's not strange for Tayali to come out in the way that he did in full support of Musyani. It's because Musyani's character mimics, mirrors, duplicates Tayali's character. And I've often said to you that any time you have Chilufya Tayali who's advocating and who's standing on the highest mountaintop for you, for whatever reason, just know that that thing is going to land with a hollow thud. Just know that that effort is going to disintegrate into nothingness. Tayali is not the type of person that you can put in your corner and expect to win. Say that in the comments. Tayali, Chilufya Tayali, is not the type of person you can have in your corner and expect to win. You will lose, and you will lose royally. Not loyally, royally. Your loss will be so cataclysmic. It will be so gargantuan. It will be so seismic shifty that the continent will hear about your loss. You know why? Because you got the wrong guy endorsing you. And here it is, John Wick. Who the hell's John Wick? You know, I mean, Musyani calls himself John Wick. Well, John Wick and Musyani have nothing in common. John Wick has the ability to get himself out of tight situations, assassinate the opposition. That's John Wick's character. Musyani possesses none of those characters, none of those characteristical traits. None. So, you know, Tayali dropped everything he was doing. He temporarily suspended his campaign against HH. He temporarily suspended his active role as a father to Kia and his two other daughters. He temporarily suspended his desire to return to Zambia with a clean slate, which is not possible. He suspended all of that to support Musyani and stand on the highest mountaintop and say, Musyani's not guilty, this case is going to go nowhere, this is going to land with a hollow thud, they're grasping at straws, the law's not going to side with this case has nothing, has no merit, this case is nothing, it'll fizzle into nothingness. Well, come to find out, the judge didn't see it that way. And guys, this is what you must understand, is that when you get support on social media, it ends on social media. When the judge is reading the judgment, those 2,700 commentators on your live, when you are talking live, not a single one is at the courthouse listening to the judgment. Understand that. Let that sink in for a moment. You know, let me say that again because I think that's important. You know, when you come on social media and you're doing all these antics and you're looking at the numbers and the hearts and the smiles and the laughs are flying all over the place, and that sort of gives you, it emboldens you. It makes you more courageous to say more foolish things. But when they take you to court and the judgment day arrives and the judge or the magistrate is reading that judgment, none of those 2,700 commentators on your live feed are present to hold your hand. It is just you, your wife, your husband, and your family. Kwasila. ababenangu kuribe ni wala urifie weka. You stand in the solitude of yourself. And so here it is today, after months of trial, after months of hearing Chilufya tayali. Goodness, I just couldn't stand it. It was driving me nuts. It was. I'm thinking, could somebody put a lead something through this guy's Could we put an end to this madness? After months of all of that, the judge today not only found Musyani guilty, but the judge fined Musyani 70,000 kwacha. Now, let me tell you something else I found strange about Musyani's behavior in the court. When there was one time I went to court and I listened to the proceedings, and I was sitting in the gallery watching Kiddist giving her testimony. I saw this. Musyani, as he was looking at Kiddist, he was winking at Kiddist. He was making eyes at her to try and throw her off as she was giving testimony. And the thing that struck me, and I'll say it now, I didn't say it before because I didn't want to be accused of interfering with the case. What struck me about that sort of behavior from Musyani, you're winking at a woman that has sued you for defamation, trauma, and abuse, and threatening violence against her and her child. You're winking at a woman when the judge is a woman. Are you telling me that Musyani's mother, imaba mayo mfwena fende mieba, mwana wenu adikoela, your child is tainted. He has no moral compass. Are you telling me that his mother, Musyani's mother, couldn't pull him aside and say, mwana wandi, if you're there chita, if you're there tumfya Kiddist, whatever judge, whatever anakashi. Bali kwata abana, bali kwata abepwa, bali kwata family. So, fyole chita. She's watching you. The judge is watching you. You're telling me that his mother didn't say that to him? Okay, remove the mother. What about his lawyers? You're telling me his lawyers, Musyani's lawyers, couldn't pull Musyani aside and say, Musyani, Kiddist nga alipa stand. Don't wink at her. Don't make it look as if this is not an important case. Your freedom is on the line. If and when they find you guilty, they will sentence you and possibly fine you. Just be calm. Sit and listen to the proceedings. Don't have an aura of boastfulness. Monga paliafyodi. Under the shadow of a legal system, you are an ant. Under the shadow of a legal system, you are an ant. Don't act like an elephant when you are an ant. So nobody said that to him? Okay, fumieni ko banyina, fumieni ko amaloyas. Ngaba nankwe. You mean Musyani doesn't have a friend who was present in the courtroom to say to Musyani, Musyani, if you're a chita, when Kiddist is on the stand, which indike, which efye, pantu bareba judge badia, bana kashi. What if naba kwata bana? Bala umfoshani. Awe sure. Chile chita fye winki. Chile mu winki da chile. Chile mu tumfya. Not knowing there's coming a day when the proceedings will come to a conclusion, and the proceedings will beg, they'll solicit for a judgment. If you these days, if quite no moral compass, no sense of, it doesn't even have the ability to read the room. You can't read the room. Someone has to tell you, kukweba, Teapanomba, you've been found guilty, sentenced to 6 months in prison, in addition to a 70,000 kwacha fine. Now, here's my question. 70,000 kwacha, John Wick Musyani chiti oyo ala shifumia kwe. A question. Where are you going to get 70,000 kwacha? Bantu na ine mpanondi. She quite 70,000 kwacha. I don't have it. If I was in a situation now, inonshita 1:05, muntu wanje bati, mwewa, bring 70,000. Shala fumakui. I have to mobilize it. I have to put things together. So, Musyani does not have 70,000 kwacha here now. Iyo 6 months iyo, mwebaleti, yo, he will come out on appeal. On appeal. In the climate that we are in now, where we have cyber laws that are designed to deter the public from foolish behavior on the internet, appeal in this current climate? You must be joking. You must be joking. And even if, Bane, we know the law, he'll be given 6 months. If on good behavior or whatever, maybe you'll be out in 4 or 5 months. But when you are in prison, 2 days is hell. 2 days. 2. What more 3 months, 4 months? And then a 70,000 kwacha fine. And the only people who are going to give Musyani 70,000 kwacha are people like Rafael Nakachinda. And Rafael doesn't have that money. He has to go to Edgar Lungu to get that 70,000 kwacha. No one in the PF has 70,000 kwacha. Miles Zampa. Where is Miles going to get 70,000 kwacha? With all the family obligations that Miles has, you think he will just get what shakuswa? Imamule mwana 70,000 shakuswa. You think you can go out there and find a money tree somewhere and just therefore I 70,000 kwacha again to shikuse. In this economy, 70,000 kwacha. You are just lying. So my point is, everything that has happened to Musyani is self-inflicted. Self-inflicted. Nobody should feel bad for him. No one should have empathy for him. Why? Because it's self-inflicted. In the face, there was, if you followed that trial carefully, there was a time when Kidist and Yomaps were willing to bury the hatchet and to let bygones be bygones. But what did Musyani do? He went back on social media. He began to insult. He began to ponter. He began to say all manner of things. And the Kidist and the husband said, teba tuwale fokulanda tutuba chite forgive, tuchite reconcile, fipwe, we bury, teba futi babwekera the same behavior. The word of God is clear. Can a leopard change its spots? Can an Ethiopian change the melanin on their skin? The answer is no. A resounding, heartfelt no. So uria character yako teti achinje. The only way he might change is if ngaya ku corrections. Ngaya ku corrections kuria. When you're, guys, let me tell you, when you're sitting in your cell alone in the dark with nothing but your thoughts, time can draw out like a blade. They march you in naked as the day you were born. And when those bars slam home, that's when you know it's for real. Whole life blown away in a blink of an eye. Nothing left but all the time in the world to think about it. When you are in that cell, you and your thoughts, that is the only time you have introspection. That is the only time you can sit there and say, you know, chine filana chitena alilufyanya. Pantu ngasha chitile filia, kunonga shai sako. Had I not done that, I would not be here. In technology, that's called if this, then that. Have you heard of this in technology? If this, then that. When you do A, B will happen. When you do B, C will happen. But if you don't do A, B will not happen. So, Musyani needs to self-reflect. When he comes out, because obviously he's not going to be there forever, he'll come out. 3-4 months, he'll come out. When he comes out, the biggest mistake he'll make is what Why Me did. The moment Why Me came out, instead of introspection, he went back to insulting the head of state. Immediately, Zimbabwe. Why? Because he wants to continue insulting and using this medium, abusing social media. The biggest mistake, but because I know Musyani's character. And how do you know Musyani's character? Because Musyani's character is Chilufya's character. When Musyani comes out, you think that chap is going to be repentant? No. He will come out with both guns blazing. But what will happen to him when he does that? Wazamufyanta. Wazamufyantiratu. And on top of that fyantaring, they will simply refer to the case, prior case. Kuti iwe tinakufyanta, futi wabwela tuzakufyantiratu. But to these young people, do they listen? Do they understand? They don't. They have no moral compass. Eri filaba nyina bale chitafidia ku courthouse. Filaba de edila. Na bali do musore mayo mwana wenu alikowela. Alikowela, and you are part of the problem. You, Bamayo, you are part of the problem. Instead of sitting down with your son, mwana wenu ya kumukontolola. Temper me, I'm 56. Bamayo is still alive. There are things my mother can call me, lelo. Gabalana chitambala nge fina umfwa. Umfwa, you have to listen. Why? Now these chaps, these chaps who have mothers that have no moral compass themselves. How is ala kontorashani? If the mother can support that nonsense. Sit your son down. Sani, if you watch now, Lufyanya. If you watch it, if you watch it. Twalikuwa tentambi, ifo tuli bantu. Tatuli bakufyalo eyo. If you're reach tapa social media, if you're reach tuka bantu, if you're tefyo, uyo musalula, wirachi tefyo. Leka. Kalombo bwelelo. Ukapapate, wapapate, wati, yo, shaka bweke shepu. Awe sugar. Awe sugar. But if you know my son is innocent, that is the reason your son has been sent to prison. It's because of you. Tapali bambi yoni mwe. All right. All right. Got that off my chest. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm having lunch. I'm having fish today. Did I tell you guys I could eat fish every day? Tell me I've got a problem. Tell me. Tell me I need therapy. Tell me. All right. Thanks for watching. God bless. On the street, when I do this, when I do a salute on the street, the UPND guys think I'm doing the forward sign. Then I just saw, hey guys, hey, forward. I said, no, I'm just giving you a salute sign. Salute! You only forward. And then when I fist bump, because of COVID, when I fist bump, the UPND guys, they don't want to shake my hand. So, I said, no, man, it's just a fist bump. All right. Thanks for watching.